So how was your flight back home?
Yeah, pretty good. Didn't sleep too much, but...
After you.
Thank you.
Yep, I stuffed up. A few weeks later, different time of the day. So it's obviously not morning now. Hi guys, my name's Ralph Noga. The founder of Trixby and the creator of the Boarding Pass series. I've stuffed up, Nat Wright's intro for her episode, so I do apologise, Nat. But in case you're wondering what Boarding Pass is about, well, this podcast series chats to both athletes and coaches about the opportunity to travel, and play the sport or coach the sport that they love anywhere around the world. In Nat's case, when I did that interview with her, she just come back from having a stint playing for a Japanese club. And I will sort of chat to her about that. And other parts of her journey as a rugby sevens player, but also just playing rugby in general. So I hope you enjoy Nat's episode, and I promise to do better in future episodes. Think about though, like if you just come back from Tokyo, actually let's talk about Tokyo. How was that?
Tokyo was awesome. First time I lived out of home, so we were there for 3 months. Yeah, so that was a bit of an adjustment, but I was living with Katie Shave and we get along very well, so that was an awesome experience.
So talk about that decision process to actually go there in the first place. Like, how did that come about?
Reg suggested it.
So who's Reg?
Reg is the QAS and Australia A coach.
Okay.
So he kind of brought the idea to us when there was no footy to play here in the middle after our next gen comp.
Okay.
So after that he was like, we're just training, so there's an opportunity to go play in Japan get 4 or 5 tournaments in, so we jumped on that. And he has a connection in Japan, so Ken Dobson, he used to work at UQ under Reg and then at Queensland Rugby, so Reg knows Ken really well and he's the assistant coach for the Tokyo Phoenix, so that's where that connection
That's how the connection comes from.
So
I love the construction. Doing a podcast next to a construction site. That was a great idea, Ralph. But anyway, so let's talk about going back to that connection to Ken Dobson. So you play for the UK Rugby.
Yeah.
Now, so how did you get into that program to start off with?
Well, it used to be the Aon series. And then it's now the Caslet Cup. So I played. Initially it was 15s for UQ, and then I've decided to just focus on 7s for the time being. And then I had injuries all through Aon, so I actually never got my UQ Aon cap until 2021. So that's pretty recent in the whole scheme of things. And then after that I got invited into the QAS, so that was kind of where my progression through the pathway kind of started.
I guess that's when I sort of we first connected is really that Bris Vegas 7s. And we're going to talk about your little foundation club as well in a moment, but just really focusing on the UQ and they said rugby program. What is it about the SEVs program that you enjoyed?
I think the coach really attracted me. So Reg was the coach initially, and then he moved to the QAS, and then it was Cassidy Holland, who now has lots of affiliations with West as well. But I think I kind of went because of Cass, and then I also go to university at UQ, so I am on a scholarship, so I technically have to play, but that's my club of choice as well. Okay,
so what did you like about the program specifically?
I just think it's a really professional program. They take it very seriously, which is great. The training's nice and tough, and it's really high quality, which is awesome as well. And a lot of the QAS girls, we all started kind of at UQ as well, and we've all progressed through the ranks. So playing with all my friends as well is obviously a massive benefit as well.
It's a big help. So what are you studying at UQ?
Exercise physiology.
So staying within the game.
I am. Not sure if I want to work in sport, but definitely along the lines of exercise.
So what else would you do once you complete the degree? What else would you look to branch out to?
Potentially just working in a clinical environment. So. So
what's the interest there?
I guess I've kind of, in my head, I've kind of done the sport part of things. I've been a part of that, and maybe a little bit working in a clinic where you see both kind of populations, a healthy pop and your clinical population. But I think at this point in time, I haven't done any of my placements yet.
Yeah.
But
so you're pretty busy doing other stuff.
yeah. But hopefully, at this point in time, that's where I'm kind of tracking.
Well, that's the thing. You're pretty young, so there's plenty of time to sort of make those decisions when you're in a space where you've actually experienced a bit of life.
Yeah.
Is that the attraction of being able to play overseas, like being able to experience life?
Absolutely. Like, I remember, I think about this time last year, I was like, I really want to go to Japan at some point and play footy, and I didn't think that was an opportunity until after I'd finished my uni degree.
When did you think that again?
This time last year, I reckon this time last year, I was like, I really want to play overseas.
So you put it out there?
I did, and then Reg just happened to come 3 months later, like, there's an opportunity if you want it. But we didn't really know we were going until it's probably like a month before we left. It was quite fast paced once we worked out we were going.
So what is it about Japan that sort of attracted you about playing over there?
I guess the quality of the competition. They have 16 teams in the competition, which is something that we've never really had here.
True.
So, and I don't know, yeah, just literally living life in a completely different culture, I guess. So a bit of culture shock at the start, but I think the different culture was a big thing that drew me there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is you just challenge yourself, like just not in a sporting sense, but just in terms of yourself as a person.
Yeah.
Trying to experience something you've never experienced before. Away from home for the first time. What are some of the things you started to learn about being independent?
The washing doesn't wash itself. The dishes don't clean themselves either.
Thanks, Mum.
We didn't have a dishwasher, so that was a bit of an adjustment as well, having to keep the plates clean and not let anything pile up. So
it's a huge culture shock.
Yeah, it was a bit, but no, it was awesome. Just the girls we met over there and the food we ate. It was a pretty incredible experience.
So what's the most interesting thing you ate while you were over there?
I remember. We went to this thing called yakitori, which is like these chicken skewers. So they kind of put all these different types of like parts of the chicken on the skewer. Yeah. And a few of the Japanese girls took us out to dinner, and Katie and I had it was just chicken cartilage, but like kind of like, you know, like the knuckle of a drumstick kind of thing. But it was like kind of like 1.5 inches, like kind of long, and just like literal cartilage, and like just like that was on a skewer, and that was on a skewer, and you had to like kind of eat it and pretend that you're enjoying it. You're enjoying it a little bit, but Katie, she didn't enjoy that one, so I didn't enjoy it either. But I was better at putting in a bit of a bait.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like it's kind of like an initiation process, I guess, in a way. You got to assimilate to the culture.
Yeah, that's it.
How's your Japanese?
Well, we had an hour and a half lesson every Tuesday when we were over there, and that was actually one of the highlights of the week. So there was 4 foreigners, so there was Katie and I, and then there was an American girl called Nia, and then a Fijian girl called Arlo, and the 4 of us would sit in this room and try learn Japanese for an hour and a half a week. But it was probably the highlight, like lots of laughs, because you'd stuff up all the time and everyone would just laugh, and it was good fun.
So can you say anything in Japanese to me today? Is that putting too much pressure on you?
Genki desu ka, which means like, how are you kind of thing, and then you'd say genki desu if you're okay.
Well, what's the thing is like, I think there's a lot of fear with people being able to, especially coming from Australia, to go and play in a country where English is your second language. Yeah. Like, how do you find the Japanese people, like, in terms of making you feel welcome? Because I understand that they're quite good in that way.
Yes, they're unreal. Especially like the girls, like the moment we arrived, they were so excited to see us, and because they had heard of these 2 Australian girls coming, and it was very, like, we felt very welcomed and everything. And then straight away they were like, we need to take you to this place, just like try all the food and stuff like that, because that's obviously a massive part of their cultures, the cuisine and stuff like that. So we definitely got exposed to all of that, and they were all very excited to take us out.
So positive experience.
Absolutely.
So, like, obviously, you went there for a bit of a challenge in terms of just the rugby itself. Like, how did you find that competition?
The competition was awesome. Like, there was because there was 16 teams, obviously, like, the quality of each team's going to differ. And you kind of had 6 or 7 really solid teams, and then you had kind of your bottom half. So our team, Tokyo Phoenix, was the reigning champs from last year. So we were going into a pretty, like, quality team. unfortunately we didn't get the results we were wanting this year, but it was the top 4 teams especially were very competitive. Like, it was very close.
Because that's the thing, is you're sort of like seeing that growth in the game.
Yeah.
Like, do you notice that, like, in terms of like overseas players playing within the competition, were there many?
Yeah, it's only growing after COVID. Yeah. I guess like that put a big hole in the competition. Like, prior to COVID, like Laurie Kramer, like so many of Australian players had gone over, and we were kind of the first 2 after COVID. Yeah. We also, I guess, like the adjustment to the Japanese style of rugby was also a bit different. Like, yeah. They're surprisingly so hard to tackle because they're very small and agile, and that was a big adjustment I found for the first 2 comps. Okay. Like, it literally took me 2 comps to adjust to like how they play, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Like, that's kind of the thing, is, you know, you need a bit of exposure to different games of rugby in different competitions. Yeah. And I guess that's the attraction of being able to play like overseas. So playing in Tokyo, what would you recommend, you know, having an opportunity like that? You know, because there's obviously girls that are going to be, you know, listening or watching this, you know, podcast that have similar aspirations. Like, what would you recommend to go and play like in Japan, especially when they're coming from you know, they're, I guess, a bit afraid of the culture shock potentially? I guess
the girls are the most supportive people you could ever like kind of meet. Like, I remember, obviously in the sevens, only 13 people get picked for a tournament week, right? Yeah. So 12 play, 13 or 14 get like 2 reserves kind of come. But then there's a squad of like 38 at Tokyo, and literally 20 of them will come and watch no matter where in Japan it is. So just the support that you get from players of your squad that haven't made the 12 that week is just incredible.
Would you like to play there again?
Absolutely. So I got offered to go back for the 15 season.
Yeah.
But as I said before, I'm focusing on sevens for the time being, but definitely in a few years' time I'd be keen to go for the whole year maybe and get a sevens and 15 season, and just to be there for longer, because, yeah, as I said, it's a lot of fun.
You enjoy your time there.
Yeah.
Actually, a big part of it as well, because I'm hoping to get Katie on here as well, is you know, having someone else to support you there. Like, how was it, like, having Katie there with you?
Oh, I think there's no one else I'd rather go with. Yeah. Like, she, honestly, we're both pretty easygoing people, and she's very patient, so I mean, yeah, I think we both like complemented each other quite well. And
are you saying you're not patient?
She's more patient, but I wouldn't say I'm impatient. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I'd say she's more patient, and I guess, yeah, we just got along so well, and we're both in similar stages with our footy, like right on the cusp there. So I guess it's a similar experience for both of us. Like, it's just getting more games.
You're shooting the same sort of things essentially, but it's having a. But that's the thing. It's like 3 months is a long time. Away from home for the first time, and you know, trying to like manage different relationships with people you've never really met. So having someone that's sort of like close to you really sort of helps you, I guess, deal with those certain things. Would you say?
Yeah, like obviously, like there's a bit of a language barrier as well. So like, I don't know, you'd have a word to the coach, and then you'd kind of debrief with Katie about like what that meant, and kind of like if you weren't sure about everything that was said.
So you're saying Katie's got better Japanese skills than you?
No, I don't reckon. I think I made. Well, a lot of the girls like would give you like little vocab words as you're training. Like I'd be like, oh, what's tree? And then they'd be like, oh, it's key. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to put that in my next sentence. Like, it's, I guess as our time there progressed, like obviously our Japanese got better, but we'd understand better than we could probably speak. So like, even the Japanese girls, when speaking to us, all of them tried really hard to speak in English, and it was like really good fun, like trying to, if we weren't sure what they were saying, or they weren't sure what we were saying, like other people around trying to like translate as well. So it was quite funny sometimes, but
that's part of the experience.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like it's I think it's not only fun for you, but obviously with the girls there as well, you know, being able to have that conversation. So let's just talk about the I guess why you prefer sevens over 15s.
I think the opportunities in sevens to be able to travel the world, while yes, in 15s you have the same ones. I just think it's an Olympic sport. It's the in my head, that's the pinnacle of sport. So I want to play at the Olympics. So that's not an I suppose, yeah. So yeah, I guess in my head, it's also probably the hardest to make. Like, it's so competitive. There's 16 contracts up for grabs, so everyone's kind of trying to get there. And yeah, there's obviously like opportunities to play Super W.
Yep.
But your opportunities in sevens, it's far more restricted, and I think you nearly kind of need to tick sevens off to then be able to go to 15s, because you can't really do 15s and sevens
at the same time.
At the same time, yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Because everyone has their, I guess, their own approach to it.
Yeah.
But when because you've only been like playing the game for like a few years.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of and you find that with a lot of girls as well. Like they've come from different sports. They're coming into this, but I think specifically with sevens, it's it's kind of like it's a lot of skill sets. Like, even though it's it's a pretty expansive game, at the same time there are a lot of skills that are required to be successful in it.
Yeah, I guess like being strong in the gym, fast, being able to pass both sides. For me, kicking, tackling, you have to be able to tackle one-on-one in space. Like, it's kind of like the epitome of all the skills kind of combined in one, and if you can't do one of them, it'll get shown on the field, I guess.
Yeah.
You can't hide behind anything.
You can't hide behind it, because it's a very fast-paced game.
Yeah.
So, like, I've sort of watched your career. Like, obviously, when we first met at Bris Vegas, was it 2020 or 2021?
2021.
Yeah. So it's only been a couple of years, and you've done quite a lot in those 2 years. You had a bit of a time to go and play in South Africa.
Yes.
So tell me about your time in South Africa.
South Africa, Honey Badgers. So
Honey Badgers.
That's the name of the team. That opportunity came up, and again, there wasn't really too much going on here, so Reg encouraged us to go over. It was Georgia Hanaway, Katie again, and I. So Katie and I have been on a fair few trips now together. But that was 10s, so hadn't played 10s before.
Yeah.
It was a 2-week comp, or there was 2 weekends in a row over there. Probably the time of my life. Like, it was just so fun meeting people. I think our team had like 10 or 11 different countries represented in like a team of 16
Talking
or something
about
like that. Yeah, it was unreal. Just to be like, now if I go to Ireland, I have 2 people I can like message me like, oh hey, do you want to catch up, or can I stay with you? Like, just the opportunity to meet people from different countries in that trip was unreal.
And that's probably that's what I like about Boarding Pass. This program is really focusing on that. You sort of like nailed it. The opportunity to meet people from different parts of the world. Is that part of the attraction of like rugby? Because I think the thing for me is like rugby union compared to league has that opportunity for travel, and which you can do in league as well, but it's more prevalent in union. Would you say I'm sort of correct in that?
Absolutely, yeah. The like appeal to play 7s or 15s as opposed to league is definitely the opportunity to travel overseas. And like, as you said, like that's not just with like teams from Australia. Like, you can be asked to go and play for other teams, which is a pretty cool opportunity as well. And there's like the PR7s is another one that you could go play for another team as well, and obviously meet a lot of people from America, I guess, because that's an American comp. But the opportunity to play 7s and 15s overseas is like phenomenal.
You've played a bit of time in America as well.
I haven't, but I'd love to go one day.
No, not so much as in a competition, but from a national sports perspective. You had a chance. I'm sure you did play there, didn't you?
I have. I've been to America. Yes. With Aussie A. In March last year, there was 6 of us that got to go with the top squad to America and play USA and USAA.
Yep.
And
that's in LA, wasn't it?
That was in LA. It was.
So I'm sure I saw the Instagram.
Yes, That was. Yeah, definitely.
That was definitely you.
Yeah, it was. So I've been to America. Yeah, we went to Chula Vista, which is their Olympic training facility over there, where they do all their 7s and archery and a few other sports out of.
Yep.
And it's like the AIS on steroids. It was unreal. It was in the middle of this big mountain range, and there was just like athletics track, like footy fields as far as you could see. It was pretty cool.
And that's it. It's going back to what I was talking about before. Like I said, it's not just like going from a club level, but also on a national level, being able to play in those countries.
Yeah.
Because again, league's not in the States at the moment.
No.
Now that might change, but right now, union is kind of like the dominant code in America. So is that another place you'd like to play at some point?
Yeah, definitely. PR7's it's only a few, like, that's the main comp that you go kind of and play for as a foreigner. But that's a pretty, like, short comp. I think it's like 2 months all up.
Oh, very quick.
Yeah, if that. I think that's including the pre-season, so yeah.
But, you know, you've got to remember, like, I'm not sure what your feeling on the States is, but for me, it's like there's such huge opportunities over there, especially over the next 10 years. So, you're only 20. When do you turn 21?
September.
Oh.
Pretty soon. Yeah.
So the big 2-1.
Yeah.
Anything planned?
Yeah, I have a party planned. It should be pretty fun. Mum's organising it mostly. I'm not in the country to kind of think about
you're
it.
too busy playing overseas.
Yeah.
Jet setter.
What a life.
What a life. But that's what I'm saying. You're still pretty young, and I guess with the States and sort of heading towards the World Cup, in about 10 years. It's only going to get bigger. There's more opportunities for you, and I think that's kind of the thing I'm trying to sort of. I guess if you haven't worked out yet, I'm pro rugby. I think for me, like, uni has so many opportunities for women in particular that you just got to hold on to it. So there's a lot of like conversations around money and union compared to league, but I think you've got to look at long term, the opportunities there. Is that why you're sort of like sticking with it?
Absolutely, yeah. The opportunities to see the world, like, regardless of whether you're in the top squad or not. Like, the fact that I've all gone, or
Sorry,
bird.
Sorry guys, not a bird.
The fact that I've been able to go to all these places and just with sevens, and I'm not in the national squad yet. I think that just should speak volumes that it's not just for that World Series side that gets to travel around, like, it's everywhere. And I guess in America the other appeal would be like college rugby, right? Like, it's an Olympic sport now, and we know a few girls that have gone over that kind of used to be in the QAS or so it's only getting bigger going over there.
College, there's actually some interviewing something around that college rugby as well, so obviously girls play as well, sorry.
Yeah, they do, yes, yeah.
And that's probably the thing as well, is like I'm focused more on obviously a male sort of like dominated sport, but at the same time, there's so many opportunities for women that we haven't really scratched the surface. Are you sort of excited about that?
Absolutely. I think even since I started playing, like, there was kind of Australia development opportunities, and then like that were like a little bit like paid, right? Yeah. And then there was nothing during COVID for like the girls that weren't in the top squad.
Yep.
And then now, like, the funding's just getting more and more, so more girls are being able to kind of make it a bit of a career, I guess.
Yeah. You've got to take the positive out of it. Like right now we may not be able to compete with, the NRL, like in terms of pay, but there's other aspects to a career in rugby union.
Definitely.
So I want you to pitch to me. I'll pitch to those girls out there that are thinking, I see more of a pathway to the NRL. Like, what do you say to them? This is important.
I guess NRL will always be there. Like, league's not going anywhere, it's only growing, right? So there's only going to be more opportunities in the future. Whereas, like, while you're young, while you're not kind of stuck with a job, like stuck in Brisbane kind of thing, like, the opportunities to go overseas, I guess, for me, that's like the biggest appeal. And I guess the training that we do is like super hard, so it's the fittest you're going to be when you're playing sevens, I think. But second the fittest I'm going to be, like, playing sevens at the moment. So I think all round, like, for me, rugby's it, to be honest.
Well, that's the thing is, like, again, it's I know there is a lot of like conversations about girls playing, go to play for the NRL, which is fine. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but I think like long term, I think financially there's more opportunities in rugby. It's just about it's just about being patient, really. I
guess as well, like, for me, the opportunity to play for my country. I think we take sometimes when we're talking about league, like, there's the World Cup, but other than that, that's your only opportunity to really play for Australia, because there's not really much at the moment, at least in the way of tests.
Yep.
And the Wallaroos they're only getting better, and they're only travelling to more tests. So hopefully, like, opportunities for them in 15s grow. And I guess sevens, like, I want to. When you ask like a little kid, what do you want to do? Like, it's generally like either go to the Olympics or play for my country, right? So I guess you get that opportunity more so in 7s and 15s than you do in league, I think. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm older and I want to tell my kids like I played for Australia, I think that's cool, like really, really cool in comparison to I played for the, I don't know. At this point in time, that's what I really want to do.
Yeah, you got to stay motivated. Now, you're only 20. When I met you, which is only like a couple of years ago now, you started your own rugby club. Tell me about that.
Okay, so the Red Hot Chili Steppers is my rugby club. It's an all red-headed rugby team. So to play, you have to be a natural redhead. We don't allow any fangers, fake rangers. It's forever growing. Wherever I go, I'm always looking out for like little ranger children, or finding some rangers. I found 2 in our like brother club from Tokyo Phoenix.
Oh, really?
They play for the Brisbane Blue Sharks.
Okay, cool.
Found 2 over there, so it was pretty exciting. But I was the only ranger in the 16 teams over at Tyson. I mean, I am normally there's a token ranger in the team, not the comp, but brought all them together.
That's cool though. That's probably the thing is like, where did the idea come about from? Because we've spoken about it before, but I'd like to refresh my memory.
Okay, well, so I've got these sisters that I went to school with. So one of them was in my grade at school. They're boarders from St. Peter's.
Yeah.
And they live 5 hours west. And they have a beef company called Four Daughters, who are one of our sponsors.
Yep.
And they're 4 redheaded girls. And they all play for Darling Downs.
Yep.
So I went out to their farm and one of them was like, oh, we should just make a ranger team. And I was like, yes, I'll make it happen. And then that's essentially how it came about.
Okay, so how old were you when you started?
Well, the year, I think it was February 2021, I made the Instagram. And then we won the comp. My girls team won at Bris Vegas at 2021, which was the time that was an unreal day.
I've got footage of that, so it happened.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty impressive debut for the club.
Yeah, it was.
What do you sort of see? It's got a lot on your plate, but ideally, what do you hope to happen from the club over the next few years?
Yeah, look, I've been a bit unorganised with it lately. I'd be lying if I said I'm on top of it this year, but I really want to turn it, I guess, the career path through uni I'm going through is exercise physiology, and I think it'd be awesome to get a little coaching or S&C kind of company going from it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something I haven't really talked about too much, but that's kind of the goal.
So this is an exclusive?
Exclusive, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love
Steppers
exclusives.
Becoming a business, I guess.
Wow, can I actually release that?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's very much in its baby stages.
Well, that's probably it's a great way to brand a company though. Especially when you're combining that point of difference.
Yeah.
Will you look after people that aren't rangers though?
Yes, absolutely. So
Okay.
I think I've spoken to Tess a little. Well, we've spoken obviously about it, probably not for a good 6 months now. So sorry, Tess. But she's getting a lot of her certs and stuff like that, and she's really into the coaching. So kind of us being the 2 coaches, or just Tess kind of taking it. And going to different clubs. We have so many connections at so many clubs around Queensland, and then everyone I'm meeting, we could do an island tour. There'd be so many rangers over there. I don't know, and run a few
An island tour would be a great
idea. Or Scotland. I don't know, but I know, as I said before, I know people in Ireland. Yeah, exactly. We'll find plenty of them. Probably find an accidental team of full rangers anyway.
That's great. I love that concept though. But the European tour would be great. I think that's where you got to go.
Yeah.
So again, I think that's probably the thing is having a point of difference. That's probably what attracted me to your story in the first place. Is that I just discovered that there was there's an all ranger rugby club, and I wanted to do a doco on it. Unfortunately, we couldn't do a doco, so here we are today.
Yeah.
But we've talked about, I guess, your sporting background, only been fairly new to it. Now that pathway, I guess, playing for the QAS, and now obviously having your aspirations played nationally. Can you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, I guess the support that we get at the QAS is definitely leading us in the right direction. So we have a sports psych on Access, we have dietitians, S&Cs, physios, amazing coaches. Like, I think it's a really good setup. So the pathway is, I guess, that we're just trying to make the QAS as close to the Aussie program, so the jump then isn't as big when you get into that program.
Yep.
So the staff do an awesome job at getting that nice and close, like the stepping stone to the Aussie program.
Yeah, it's just, there's like, it's kind of seamless in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Aspirations to play for the country, like we sort of like touched on it a fair bit throughout our conversation today, but like, what does it sort of mean to you to be able to play for, for Australia at an Olympics? Like, what would that feeling be like?
Pretty indescribable, probably, honestly. I reckon, for me, I've had a pretty bad injury run the last few years.
Yep.
So it would kind of be very satisfying to myself that, like, through all of everything I've kind of been through, that I could still get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a big part of it, like just the resilience that I think I've had to, like the amount of times I've been kind of knocked back by an injury and then had to like re-find my feet, remake the Aussie, or not remake the Aussie A team, but like kind of get back to that standard to then potentially be pushing for a spot in the contracted squad. I think that's
motivates you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does it get you out of bed every day?
It does.
Yeah, well, that's it. Look, as long as you've got that feeling when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
This is an end goal.
Yeah.
You'll get there. It's got to be persistent about it.
Yeah.
Now, boarding pass. So boarding pass is about travelling and doing all things. So you've ticked off a lot. Gone to South Africa. We've gone to Japan. We've gone to the States. What's next for Nat?
Well, we go to. So with the top squad, they've picked, again, similar to America last year, they're taking 6 girls that aren't in the contracted squad, so 22 of us are going over. We're going over to Canada for a few weeks.
Canada.
Yeah, so we're in a little kind of training camp thing with Japan, 2 Canadian teams, Hong Kong, us, and maybe another
So when does
team.
that kick off?
Well, so we leave Sunday, and then we play Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week, and then next week, that's crazy. Anyway, and then the following week we play the Saturday, Sunday. So we have like 2 weekends of comps.
So which part of Canada are you going to?
Honestly, can't tell you. I have no idea. I'm sorry.
She's got off a plane from Japan and she's heading straight to Canada.
Just trying to settle at home and off again.
Well, that's the thing. And this is the thing that probably attracts me to the idea of like playing professionally. Is that you get to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You never know, you're going to get that call saying, we need you in X. And it's, you're getting life experiences, get to travel the world. What's one part of the world you love to travel and actually play in?
And play in. I'd probably at some point want to go to the UK and play over there, because there's the club comp over there, the standard's really high.
Yeah.
So I think that really appeals to me as well. And obviously like English speaking, so kind of different experience to Japan.
Yeah.
But still getting like the opportunity to meet people from all around the world.
It's close to your people as well.
Yeah, in Ireland.
Okay. But yeah, that's it. High five.